Bitcoin, the entirely digital currency, has hit a record high in value, but could the bubble burst at any moment? Welcome back to What's Trending. I'm Martini Bierman. Make sure to like and subscribe for more news. Bitcoin just hit a record high of $11,000 per coin. That is a lot of dollars. According to market watchers, in January, a Bitcoin cost about $700, and in less than a year has soared to past $10,000. I'm not a mathematician, and I genuinely don't normally use stocks, but that seems like a huge increase. Many people are seeing this as a sign that Bitcoin is here to stay. And since I have money in Bitcoin, oh, do I hope it's here to stay. Trader Tom Dante tweets, getting really bored of seeing people say Bitcoin is a bubble and that it'll crash. Makes me think they've never witnessed a proper bubble. But other people are not so sure what to make of the news. Paul Bassett Davies writes, if I had a Bitcoin for every time someone tried to explain Bitcoins to me, I'd have a lot of Bitcoins and no idea what to do with them. You might have heard of Bitcoin, but maybe you're confused about cryptocurrency. So how does it all work? Cryptocurrencies are a digitally created currency. Instead of cash being regulated by a central or federal bank, cryptocurrencies are administered by thousands of computers networked all across the world. And this decentralization, meaning that the government is not involved in the money at all, they don't regulate it, they don't have anything to do with it, is what makes cryptocurrencies so revolutionary. And just because you've been hearing the word Bitcoin in the news doesn't mean that Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency out there. Cryptocurrencies like Ripple, Litecoin, and Ethereum use similar technology and have also gone up in value. So if you feel like you've missed that Bitcoin train, you can always go and invest in Litecoin or Ethereum or any of the other many cryptocurrencies out there. But what a lot of people don't realize is that when you buy a Bitcoin, you don't have to actually buy a full coin. Right now, if Bitcoin is up to $9,000, that does not mean that you have to spend $9,000 to get a coin. You can actually get a fraction of a Bitcoin. So if you have $50 in your pocket and you're like, I got nothing to do with this $50, let's see if I can make some money off of it, and you want to throw it into a Bitcoin, you might end up with like 0.00009th of a Bitcoin, but that $50 could easily become $100 by tomorrow at the rate that Bitcoin's going. But just remember that Bitcoin is like a stock, so just like other cryptocurrencies, it can go up or down or just crash completely, leaving you with nothing. As Bitcoin has recently surged in value, Ethereum also has seen a record high. Bitcoin, however, is still the market leader. The same computers that process Bitcoin transactions are also creating new Bitcoins in a process called mining. The computers mine Bitcoins by solving increasingly difficult puzzles with a special piece of software. The transactions form a block of information called a blockchain. Miners that donate their CPU power to allow Bitcoin to process transactions are rewarded with Bitcoins. However, the reward is then cut in half after a certain number of transactions. It is estimated that around the year of 2140, the currency will reach its predetermined limit of 21 million Bitcoins. So with a limited supply or a finite supply and increased demand, it means that the price ultimately should go up. But again, this is a stock and it's all based on how much confidence the public has on it in order for it to thrive. And I can't help wonder who is the strange genius who invented Bitcoin. The truth is that no one actually even knows. Satoshi Nakamoto is credited with writing the research paper that led to Bitcoin's blockchain banking, but many speculate he's not one man but an entire team. Nakamoto barely had a trace online before the paper was published, and he disappeared soon after WikiLeaks began to accept donations in Bitcoin. So what is Bitcoin good for? Obviously, you can buy stuff with it. You can walk into a store with a gold bar, which obviously has value, and you can walk into a store with your Bitcoin. Now, you're not likely to be able to trade whatever it is in the store for that gold bar, but your virtual currency, your Bitcoin, that's got a lot of value these days. In tech-friendly San Francisco, there are many merchants who accept Bitcoins as well as cash, credit, and debit. And like other currencies, you can keep your cryptocurrency in a wallet. Apps like Coinbase allow users to buy, save, and spend cryptocurrencies, but there are other websites like bluetrade.com which have a more comprehensive list of other cryptocurrencies that you probably wouldn't find on Coinbase, which I think is limited to like 3 of the main ones. Since using Bitcoin is pretty much untraceable, they've also been used in a lot of shady things. Bitcoin was a preferred method of payment for the now defunct dark web marketplace, the Silk Road. Shoppers could buy anything from marijuana and Oxycontin to automatic weapons. It's also like a place for people to buy gross things like kiddie porn or put a hit out on people. I mean, I've read all kinds of crazy stuff that's happened in that black market. But many people are using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies for investing. In May of 2017, The Guardian profiled many young people in China who earn thousands trading Bitcoin and speculating on the currency market. But with any new currency comes new risk, and Bitcoin is no stranger to that. Bitcoin information is usually stored in a password-protected digital wallet. But if you're like me and you have like 75,000 passwords, which you can't remember at any given point, what do you do if you forget your password? In 2015, it was estimated that about 30% of Bitcoins mined so far have been lost for good. Apps like Coinbase insist that you use an authenticator app, which has a unique code, should you lose your password or need to get into your account. Also, added stress, you could lose your money to a hacker in an online robbery. In 2011, Bitcoin exchange site Mt. Gox was the target of a hack that simultaneously allowed the hacker to steal 2,000 Bitcoins from customers and cause the value of Bitcoin to plummet. Because of course, if people don't feel like their money is secure in the currency, they sell, and then that means that the currency goes down. After the Mt. Gox incident, Bitcoin fell to just $17 a share. That is insane, and I'm really sad that then isn't now. So yes, you could lose your money in the cryptocurrency exchange, but when last I checked, my friends all told me not to keep any cash in my house and just to go completely to online banking, and I'm pretty sure you can get hacked there too. Shortly after the Mt. Gox theft, Bitomat, the third largest exchange at the time, had accidentally overwritten its entire wallet, deleting customers' money in an instant. That is absolutely insane and terrifying. And again, because there's no government involvement, there's no federal insurance that if something like this happens, you're actually going to have any cause to claim your money back. By the summer of 2011, MyBitcoin, the oldest Bitcoin digital wallet service, stopped responding to emails, and soon 25,000 Bitcoins were gone without a trace. Experts are warning would-be Bitcoin investors, like myself, to be aware of the risks. The value of Bitcoin is still pretty volatile and subject to change. And if you're like me, you're kind of hoping it changes in a massive way so you can go right in there and buy. In November of 2016, Bitcoin was valued at $6,500 when it suddenly dropped $1,000 in value overnight, eventually falling to around $700 by January. So if you're all about that roller coaster thrill ride, then just hop right on the Bitcoin train, because it is not for the squeamish. On Instagram, Katy Perry posted this photo of her asking billionaire investment guru and one of the world's richest people, Warren Buffett, about cryptocurrency. And Buffett seems to think that the bubble is about to burst. In a speech to business students this year, Buffett warned that you can't value Bitcoin because it's not a value-producing asset, adding it was a real bubble. And we're in kind of a weird impasse because money experts seem to think that it's doomed, while tech experts seem to think that this is incredible. Tech guru John McAfee tweeted, "Bitcoin has accelerated much faster than my model assumptions. I now predict Bitcoin at 1 million by the end of 2020. I will still eat my dick if I'm wrong, because he is a very hungry man." Have you invested in Bitcoin or other forms of cryptocurrency? For more trends, head to whatstrending.com.